Sweetie, I'm home. And I brought gifts.
Evil.
What's up, YouTube? Evilly here. Let me start off by saying long time no see, and let's get down to the 10th pickups video.
Evil.
You okay there? Toy time!
You wanna know how I got these toys?
Start off with, I was at a Walgreens, and of course I had to run by the toy aisle, and I'm glad I did, because I stumbled across some World of Nintendo toys. To start off with, we've got Zero Suit Samus. This isn't Zero Suit. To start off with, we have Phazon Suit Samus. Next up, we have Gold Wario. And lastly, I got Star Power Mario. Now, I love this one. This one looks great. It's a very basic stance, but it looks good to me, especially with that multicolor shine he has on him.
You wanna know how I got these toys?
Now, these guys I picked up at a local Goodwill. I was at Goodwill hoping to find something, and I wasn't having any luck until I hit the toy aisle. And then, out the corner of my eye, I noticed some colors, some significant colors. I did a little digging, and then I came up with a 1988 12-inch Robin. This thing is amazing. He has a few blemishes, some markings on his cloth cape, some markings on his red, but overall the toy's in great shape. The only problem is, because of the way his feet are, he doesn't stand up very well. And I know what you're already thinking, where's Batman? Don't worry, I got him too. He was next to him, just buried a little further. Check this out! He looks so cool! I can't wait for a movie where they make a gray and blue Batman. It might be a little weird, but those are the colors. I consider these in my top 5 Goodwill finds of all time. I should do a video on that. And that's it for toys.
Evil.
Next up, miscellaneous. This item I found at a Goodwill for $1. It is the Muppets Alphabet album starring Jim Henson's Muppets from Sesame Street. Now this has all the original cast. It has Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Carol Spiney. So the artwork on the front's very cool. It's almost like a painting of all the Muppets. When you open it up, it's got the alphabet with all drawings, all hand drawn. It looks so cool. Now this album is from 1976, and see, it's funny because a couple of days before I bought this album, I was at a Goodwill, and I stumbled across, I think it was the Muppets Gold album, where the record is actually gold. Lo and behold, someone stole the vinyl out of the sleeve, so all that was left was the sleeve, and I didn't pick up the sleeve because I wanted the whole thing. Maybe this was the universe's way of making up for that. Who knows? And that's it for miscellaneous. Next up, video game consoles. So before I show this item, let me preface that I never owned one of these, and a lot of my friends didn't either, so I never got to experience the video game library that was made for this particular system. Now, what I've played so far, I think is great, and I hate that I missed out at the hype of it. So the system that Evil E bought in 2018 for $18 is the Nintendo Wii. I'll show one of the games that I've been playing a lot of recently, and that is Wario Land Shake It. Do you guys remember my old vlog where I did a hide and seek it of this? Well, I finally got to play it. And this is a good game. The only really annoying thing about this game is when you have to shake the Wiimote. So I bought a Wii in 2018, and I'm finally experiencing some pretty solid games on it. Which brings us into our next segment, video games.
Evil.
Now, I may call these weekly pickups, but it's been a solid 5 weeks since I made the last pickups video, so I'm gonna go through these kinda quick. Let's dive in. Sorry if the frame looks out of place from just a second ago. My cat hit the tripod, and she's a big girl.
Watch out for the big girl, big girl, big girl, big girl, big girl.
First up, we have Air Fortress on the NES. It's a neat little game. You basically go into these air fortresses and you try to blow it up from the inside by destroying the core, and then get out. Solid gameplay. Next up, the classic Konami shooter, Gradius. Another solid game with a few hiccups here and there that are kind of annoying, but good nonetheless. Also, another cool thing is that this is one of the 5-screw cartridges, and it belonged to Wilson. Wilson! Next up, the Ultra game, Gyrus. Best way I can describe this game is, imagine Galaga on a pseudo 3D sort of plane, where as opposed to moving just left and right, you move all around the perimeter of the screen. Enemies will start flying in, and it's your job to destroy them as they come in. But if you miss them, they'll go to basically the top of the screen. Or in this case, since it's in a pseudo 3D plane, to the far reaches of space. But you can still hit them. Very interesting game. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this game, probably because they're past it, and who cares. I'll do a Let's Play of this sometime. This game is actually a game I never heard of on the NES, but when I saw the cover art, I was automatically sold on it. And it is Square's King's Knight. This game's a shooter. The main premise of this game is to rescue the princess, and you start off as playing Rayjack, the knight. But the cool thing is when you die, you start as a new character. So the next character that you play is the wizard, and then after the wizard, the next character you play is Barusa, the monster, or the dragon that you see over here. And then once he dies, you play as the kid thief Toby, who I don't like. I don't like Toby's level. Toby's level is hard. But the gameplay isn't that bad. It's decent. And lastly, for NES games, I picked up the Konami shooter Life Force. Basically a successor to Gradius, but it's a little different. Where Gradius felt like it was more space-oriented, Life Force feels like it's this organic, you're going through a human body, destroying these things. I mean, the first boss is a brain with an eye on it and these, like, arms that swing around it. It's really cool, really interesting game. Imagine if they did an HD remaster of Life Force where you still had all the organic, biological looking levels and the monsters were like giant tumor brains with eyeballs and stuff. It would be such a cool remake. I almost forgot, but I picked up a classic orange NES Zapper. I had the gray one, but I needed the orange one. Funny story behind this that I'll get into later. I picked up a few Game Boy Advance games. Wario Land 4. That's a really good Wario Land. Next up, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. That's a lot to say. So, the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario Bros. 3 actually fixed a lot of problems that the original NES version of Super Mario Bros. 3 had. And lastly, I picked up the classic NES series of Super Mario Bros. Cool thing is that the actual cartridges, they made them light gray as opposed to the dark gray to look more like an NES cart. So I have 3 games here I've been wanting to add to my Nintendo DS library for quite some time. First game is going to be Bangai-O Spirits on the Nintendo DS. Now this game is really cool because it's a sequel to the original Bangai-O, which was on the N64 in Japan and then on the Dreamcast here in America and also in Japan. It's a shooter puzzle game where you have all these small little individual levels. Essentially you just solve puzzles using the bullet hell system, and it's really interesting and really cool, especially if you like little games on the go and you just want to have a few little mini games here and there. Really interesting game, also made by Treasure. If you're looking to pick up a Treasure game that's still relatively cheap, I recommend Bangai-O Spirits on the Nintendo DS. I got my copy for about 15 bucks. I came into some extra money through tax refunds, and I could have spent it anywhere, and part of me was like, you know what, I don't own one of these games, and I want one. So I searched online to see the prices, and I was like, too expensive, hell no, hell no. But then I found a copy, and I found a price I was willing to pay, especially for a Nintendo DS game. And that game is Metal Slug 7 on the Nintendo DS. Now this game is a Metal Slug game on the Nintendo DS. It plays phenomenally. It is complete in box, so I have the soundtrack disc in here. I've got the poster, the booklet, everything. It plays just like the Metal Slug games, except on a Nintendo DS, and the 2-screen action is not a problem at all. It's a great Metal Slug game exclusively for the Nintendo DS. Lastly, for DS, I picked up at half-price books for $7. Yoshi's Island DS. Now the cool thing about this Yoshi's Island is, of course, you play Yoshi, and there's Baby Mario, but you also have Baby Wario, Baby Peach, Baby Bowser, and Baby Donkey Kong, and they all do different things. It's a great little game. With my recent purchase of a Wii, I decided to buy some games. First game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Half-price books had it for $20. It was a sale. I either got 30 or 40% off. Anyway, I wound up paying $14 for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Next, for $15, I picked up the Nintendo Selects version of Super Mario Galaxy. I had never played this before, but I just 100% this as Mario, where I got 121 stars. I just unlocked Luigi. This is a phenomenal Mario game. I can't wait to get the second one. Next up, I'm going to show you guys GameCube games. I always wanted this game, and I always thought it was so cool just playing as this character, doing what you had to do. It was a great game. And I finally found one at Half Price Books months ago. But it was too high priced. It was too high priced for me. It was $40. Then when the sale happened, I was like, I'm going to come back when that's a little less, and I'm going to buy that. I picked up Chibi Robo on the GameCube, complete in box. I got Chibi Robo for about $32, $31 or $32, probably $32. And talk about a great game. You're just this little 10 centimeter high robot looking to accumulate happy points for this family, this dysfunctional family. And this game delves into a lot of weird things like divorce and like real worldly things where it's just kind of like, geez, Nintendo. But there was an interview with the director of the game where he's like, well, you kind of need that in a game that's so bubbly and fun and things like this. You kind of need something to ground it down a little bit. I'm happy. Chibi Robo. Next up, Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. I just 100%ed the basic mansion in this game. Captured all the boos, captured all the portrait ghosts, the blue ghosts, the gold mice, got over 100 million, and spoilers, Professor Egad built me a rank A mansion. Now I haven't started my hidden mansion yet, and I'll probably do a Let's Play of that. I found it for a price I was willing to pay online, $40, and with all the recent Nintendo announcements, and probably future ones, I didn't want to miss out on that price point, because I thought that was a decent price point, and I didn't want to see it climb anymore. I love the length of this game. It's not too short, it's not too long. It's an all-around great game with a great feel. So only 3 games left, and 2 of them are GameCube, and 1 of them is N64. But there's a story behind these. We were on our way to go meet Marley. You guys remember Marley? She painted the Millennium Falcon. We stumbled across this Spanish mall, and on the inside, it was basically like a flea market. There was also a really cool arcade that was essentially dedicated to Namco and Pac-Man. A Namco Pac-Man plushies, Pac-Man games, Pac-Man skee-ball, all of it. I stumbled across this little kiosk of video games, and the lady only speaks Spanish. She goes to me and she goes, "Habla español?" I said no. She goes, "Oh." One of the games I selected was Quest 64 on the N64. The other half of the channel has been looking for this game for quite some time for a right price point, and I saw it for 12 bucks, and I thought, why not? And I started looking at her GameCube games, and I saw Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. So I bring her over to the GameCube games, and I say, hey, I'd like to pick up these 2 games. She opens the curtain, and she pulls out both games, and she goes, you want? And I said, yes, and I even did a circular motion over the games and said, yes. Like this, the entire, the lot, the 2 games, yes. C. I even think I said C. Little did I know, she put back Pikmin 1, okay? Did not know this, didn't see this. She brings up Pikmin 2, she shows it to me, the disc is in great condition, it is complete in box, and I was like, great. And then, this guy comes in with these boxes, and he's dropping them off. They're essentially old consoles like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, other GameCube products. Like, he's just dropping off these boxes, and this guy essentially has a deal with this lady that he drops off this stuff and he's able to pick games. He comes up to me and he goes, hey, are you a collector? And I was like, yeah. He grabs my game, he grabs the Pikmin 2 and he opens it and he brings out the disc and he goes, huh, I've never played these before. And I was like, oh yeah, they're pretty cool games. I'm probably gonna pick up both of them. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. And I said, yeah, she just didn't bring Pikmin 1. It's still in the case. I'm going to go get her to get it back. And he goes, oh, okay. This shady motherfucker. Oh, my God. He's done dealing with the lady. And now it's time for him to go pick out games. He goes to the GameCube section. I've been trying to get this lady's attention for quite some time, but I don't know how to. I'm even waving to her, but she's off talking to this guy. I'm over here fidgeting my thumbs, being like, I need to get over there and get Pikmin. I wasn't too worried about it. Anyway, the guy goes over to the GameCube case, and I go, what's going on? And he goes over there. So I followed him over there, because I said, oh, I need something over there as well. And lo and behold, this shady shark grabs Pikmin and is like, grabs Pikmin and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles and a couple other games, and then he goes, good doing business with you, and walks off from the lady. And I thought, that dude knew I was picking up Pikmin. I even told him I was picking up Pikmin, and he just snatches it from right under me, but he tried to be this snaky dude that's like, you also a collector? And I'm like, I have a little bit of a collection, but it's not anything. It's just a few games here and there. But I've been looking for Pikmin for some time, and this dude just snakes his way in and just takes it and leaves. And my heart sank into my gut, and I just remember thinking, like, that shady shark. And I got so mad, I started seeing red, and my girl was with me, and she had to talk me down, and I was just like, I was so defeated at that point. Needless to say, I picked up Pikmin 2 for $35, which is not that bad of a price. It's probably about $3 to $5 less than you can find it online, in great condition. Pikmin 1, she was selling for $30. Now, I did some research after the fact and noticed that I could pick up a complete copy of Pikmin online for about $25. So to me, I was like, okay, not as bad of a sting. I was going to pay $5 over for it, but I had never seen it in the wild, so I was kind of sold. I was okay with paying $30 for it. But when I saw that I could get it for $25, I was like, something's looking up from here, because I was just in a bad mood after that shark came in, man. So anyway, I didn't get to pick up Pikmin 1, but I got Pikmin 2, and then I also picked up Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix for $15. And I also picked up the orange NES Zapper that I showed you earlier. And I take it all up there, and she adds it all together, and it's $77. And I say, will you do it for $60? And she goes, no, I can't do it all for $60, but she sells it to me for $67. So I got $10 off. So either way I look at it, I got the NES Zapper for free, I got Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix for $5, or Pikmin 2 for $25, or Quest 64 for $2. Either way, I was happy with the purchase. I was happy that she even gave me a discount. I'm going to have nightmares about that guy. I'm going to have nightmares about that guy sneaking his way into my life and just taking things right out from under me. I mean, just thinking about it makes me mad. But I thought it was an interesting story, and I wanted to tell you guys that. And I'm sure you've all had your encounters with sharks and shady people and snakes and all these. Okay, so I don't think I showed you guys this, but I'm just going to go over these really quickly, and then the video is going to be over. This video is going on way too long. Star Wars Republic Commandos for $10, Platinum Hits on the Xbox. Time Splitters 2 on the original Xbox for $5. Star Wars Obi-Wan for $5 out of Goodwill, complete inbox. And then Cell Damage on Xbox for $5 from a local Goodwill. All these are complete inbox, and they were great price points. And I meant to show these, and I totally forgot. I know we haven't posted a video in about a month, but I've been going back to the drawing board, trying to come up with some ideas for some videos, and I think we have some good ideas. So stay tuned to Evil Laser. If you like what you saw today, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell. Do whatever you need to do. Thank you so much for tuning in. And sadly, it's that time again, guys. Evil E out.